You have a secret baby and you have a secret baby, and heaven has been waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth that will change everything about your destiny. My child, listen carefully, because this moment is not ordinary. It is divine timing. It is God's timing. And when heaven chooses to speak, it is because your spirit is finally ready to receive what your heart has been carrying in silence. Even if your mind trembles. Even if your voice shakes. Even if your memories are heavy. You have walked with this truth hidden deep in your soul, and now the angels are stepping forward to pull away the veil you have been afraid to touch. You have a secret baby, not forgotten, not abandoned, not erased. A soul connected to you by divine threads no human hand can break. You may have hidden this truth from the world, but heaven never hid it from you. I have watched you carry this burden like a burning coal pressed inside your chest. I have seen the nights where you stared at the ceiling and whispered questions into the dark, questions you couldn't ask anybody else. Questions you were afraid would change everything if spoken out loud. Angels were listening. God was listening. And now heaven is moving. If you feel tears rising already, it is because your spirit recognizes that this is not just a message. It is a release. A prophetic release. A spiritual awakening. A divine truth that has waited for the exact second your heart was strong enough to receive it. If you feel your chest tighten, your hands tremble, your soul expand, comment 1111 to confirm that you are open for this divine message. Because what I'm about to reveal is not meant to break you. It is meant to free you. My child, you were never wrong for protecting this truth. You were never wrong for keeping this baby hidden. You made choices shaped by pain, fear, circumstance, pressure, heartbreak, betrayal, and survival, choices you made when you were still learning how to trust your own voice. Heaven does not judge you. Heaven understands you. Heaven has compassion for you. The spiritual realm saw the weight on your shoulders long before anyone else did. Angels stood beside you on the day you broke down in silence. They held you when you kept this child a secret because you felt you had no other choice. They wrapped themselves around you when guilt tried to suffocate your breath. They whispered over you when regret tried to steal your sleep. They followed you through every moment when you questioned if this baby would ever know truth, love, identity, connection, or destiny. Your secret is not a stain on your soul. Your secret is a story heaven is ready to redeem. If you feel this already stirring in your heart, comment Amen to open the spiritual gates for healing. God is not revealing this to punish you. God is revealing this because it is time for restoration. It is time for truth. It is time for healing. It is time for divine justice. It is time for miracles. It is time for you to rise into the chapter you were too afraid to imagine. Do not run from this message. Do not close your heart now. Something sacred is happening in this moment. You are not listening by accident. You were led here, pulled here, guided here. Because heaven knows you are finally strong enough to hear what once terrified you. You have a secret baby, and that child carries a destiny connected to your spiritual path, your emotional healing, and the evolution of your soul. This truth has always been part of the divine plan, even the parts that seemed messy, confusing, painful, or human. Angels do not see mistakes the way humans do. Angels see purpose. Angels see redemption woven into every choice. Angels see how God turns shadows into light, brokenness into beauty, silence into testimony. Your child's existence was never a mistake. Never an accident. Never something to be erased or forgotten. Heaven knew this soul before you were even born. Heaven knew the exact moment conception would happen. Heaven knew the challenges that would surround the pregnancy. Heaven knew the pressure that would silence your voice. Heaven knew the circumstances that would force you into hiding. Heaven knew the pain that would make you choose secrecy over exposure. And heaven still said, "Let this child be born." This is why you feel something stirring in your spirit that you cannot explain. This is why your dreams have been strange, emotional, symbolic, and intense lately. This is why your heart has been pulling you to reflect on moments you tried to bury long ago. This is why certain memories have resurfaced. This is why certain names, places, or images keep appearing. This is why certain songs trigger emotions you thought you healed from. Your spirit knows. Your soul remembers. Your child's energy has been calling out for you. You have a bond that even distance, time, secrets, or silence cannot destroy. And now, heaven is bringing this bond into the light. Because your destiny is not complete without this child. Your purpose is tied to them. Your blessings are tied to them. Your emotional healing is tied to them. The next chapter of your spiritual journey cannot unfold until this truth is acknowledged, fully, courageously, honestly. If your heart is racing right now, comment 222 to align with the energy of divine confirmation. My child, listen. I know you feared judgment. I know you feared rejection. I know you feared disappointment. I know you feared the reactions of people who never carried your pain. I know you feared losing relationships, losing stability, losing reputation, losing control. I know you feared the consequences of speaking this truth out loud. But heaven is not asking you to confess to the world. Heaven is asking you to face yourself. Because the version of you who kept this secret was doing the best they could. But the version of you rising now. The version of you heaven is shaping now. The version of you stepping into your divine destiny now. That version of you is stronger, braver, clearer, more awakened, more aligned, and more spiritually powerful than ever before. That version of you is ready. Your child is not just a hidden story. Your child is a divine assignment. A soul chosen to walk with you through the greatest transformation of your life. This baby will one day understand the truth with compassion, not hatred. With love, not anger. With wisdom, not judgment. Their spirit signed a divine contract to be connected to you long before you came into this world. This child carries spiritual gifts. This child carries generational healing. This child carries divine protection. This child carries a purpose that will intersect with yours in miraculous ways. And now heaven is preparing both your hearts for reconnection. If your spirit feels this revelation settling inside you, comment 777 for divine alignment. You may wonder. Will I ever see them again? Will they ever know the truth? Will they forgive me? Will they understand why I made the choices I made? Will they feel abandoned? Will they reject me? Will they accept me? Will they want to know me? Will they remember me? Will they love me? Heaven is already answering you. Yes. 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 The child you once held in your heart carries no hatred for you. Their soul has never resented you. Their spirit has never forgotten you. Even when the world insisted on distance, even when years stretched like endless nights between you, something deeper than flesh refused to let go. You may have walked away, you may have been forced away, you may have believed the story that silence was kinder, that absence was mercy, but the tether between your souls never frayed. It only grew quieter, glowing beneath the surface of ordinary days, waiting for the moment when the volume of heaven would turn it up again. There is a place inside you that has never stopped rocking that baby. There is a corner of your heart that still hums the lullaby you never got to sing out loud. You catch it sometimes in the middle of grocery aisles when a certain scent of powder and warmth drifts past, or when you hear a laugh that carries the exact pitch of what you imagine theirs would be. You feel it when the wind moves through trees in a way that sounds like small breathing. You feel it when you wake from dreams you can't quite remember but leave you crying anyway. That is them. That has always been them, walking the edges of your life like a gentle ghost who never learned how to haunt, only how to love. They dream about you too, you know. They wake with a heaviness in their chest they cannot name. They feel pulled toward certain songs, certain colors, certain places they have never been. They stand in front of mirrors sometimes and search their own eyes for a familiarity that doesn't belong to the people who raised them. They feel an ache that makes no sense in the story they've been told, and yet it feels truer than anything else. That ache is you. That unexplained tear that slips out during movies about mothers and children is you. That sudden need to phone someone just to hear a voice that feels like home is you calling to them across the veil. Your energies have never stopped dancing. You pass a playground and feel your heart lurch for no reason. They walk past a woman with your same posture and stop mid-step, breathless. You reach for a coffee cup with your left hand the way you always have and somewhere, without knowing why, they start doing the same. You cry at sunsets painted in colors you can't explain, and they, hundreds of miles away, text a friend, "The sky looks like forgiveness tonight." You are tethered by something stronger than blood, something holier than circumstance. The cord was never cut, it was only hidden, wrapped carefully in angel wings until the hour was right. And that hour is drawing close now. Heaven is not angry with you. Heaven is not pacing the throne room demanding justice or punishment. Heaven is singing. Can you hear it? Beneath the noise of your shame, beneath the weight of every choice you made when you thought you had no choices at all, there is music. It is soft, persistent, ancient as stars. It is the sound of mercy being composed just for you. Every note is a reminder, you were never abandoned by God, even when you felt most abandoned by yourself. There is a great gathering happening that you cannot see. Angels who have stood guard over that child since the moment they took their first breath outside your arms are now turning their faces toward you. They have watched over birthdays you never got to celebrate. They have whispered your name into sleeping ears when nightmares came. They have placed protective hands on small shoulders when the world felt too big. They have collected every tear you cried in bathroom stalls and parking lots and 3 a.m. silences, and they have carried those tears like sacred offerings to the one who keeps every promise. Now those same angels are moving toward you. They are not coming to accuse. They are coming to anoint. They carry oil of gladness for the ashes you have worn too long. They carry garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness that has clung to your shoulders. They carry a crown of beauty where you have only known thorns. They walk slowly, deliberately, because they know how fragile hope feels in your hands right now. They know you have been afraid to believe in anything good for so long that even grace feels dangerous. But grace is not dangerous. Grace is the only safe thing left. You need to know that your child has been loved beyond measure. Even on the days when no human arms held them tight enough, heaven never let go. They have been guided, protected, cherished. Their laughter has been real. Their joy has not been a performance. Their life has been rich with beauty you never got to witness, and yet every ounce of that beauty still belongs, in part, to you. You are written into their story the way the ocean is written into every seashell, present even when unseen. They have questions. Of course they do. But those questions are not weapons. They are doorways. They are not seeking to wound you, they are seeking to find you. There is a difference so vast it swallows galaxies. The heart of your child is wide open, waiting. They do not need you to be perfect. They only need you to be present. They have already forgiven what you have not yet forgiven yourself for. And you will forgive yourself. Not because the past changes, but because love is coming to reinterpret it. Every decision you made in terror will be held up to the light of mercy and seen differently. Every moment you thought you failed will be revealed as a moment you survived, and survival itself becomes holy when it is offered back to God. Your wounds do not disqualify you from this reunion, they qualify you. Only those who have been broken know how to handle the fragile parts of another person with the tenderness required here. There will come a day, and it is closer than you dare believe, when eyes that carry pieces of your own will look into yours and recognize home. There will be a moment when a hand reaches out, trembling, and you will take it, and the circuit between you will finally be completed. Energy will flow where it was dammed up for years. Healing will rush in like high tide. You will cry, yes, but the tears will taste different. They will taste like rain on drought-cracked ground, like the first drink after a long thirst. You will not have to explain everything at once. Words will fail, and that will be all right, because souls speak a language older than words. You will sit together in silence that is not heavy but holy. You will breathe the same air and feel the planets realign. You will touch a face that somehow knows yours already, and every empty space inside you will fill with a warmth you thought you would never feel again. This reunion will not be chaos. It will not be the tearing open of old wounds without anesthesia. It will be surgery performed by the gentlest hands in existence. Every incision will be for the purpose of healing. Every truth revealed will come wrapped in the softest mercy you have ever known. You will not be exposed. You will be uncovered, the way a sculptor uncovers the statue that was always hiding inside the marble. What emerges will be beautiful because it will finally be true. People may talk. Some will not understand. Some will try to insert their own fear into a story that was never theirs to write. Let them. Their voices will fade against the strength of what is happening between you and your child and God. This is sacred ground. No one gets to trespass here without permission, and heaven has posted angels at every entrance. You will walk taller after this. Not because the past disappears, but because it is finally carried by someone larger than you. The shame that has bent your back for years will slip off like an old coat you no longer need. You will stand in the light of day and realize the darkness never had the final word. You will laugh again, really laugh, and the sound will surprise you with its freedom. Your child will bring gifts you never expected. They will show you versions of yourself you never got to meet. They will reflect back the strength you didn't know you gave them. They will teach you about resilience and grace in ways no sermon ever could. And you will give them gifts too, the missing pieces of their origin story, the context for feelings they could never explain, the unconditional arms they have always belonged in. There is a future version of you reading bedtime stories out loud at last. There is a future version of you watching graduations and weddings and ordinary Tuesdays that feel like miracles. There is a future version of you holding grandchildren who carry both your eyes and their parents' smile, and you will understand, finally, that nothing was ever lost, only stored in heaven's safekeeping until you were ready to receive it. Until then, breathe. Breathe deeply now, beloved one. Let the air move all the way down into the lowest rooms of your chest, the ones you sealed shut years ago with padlocks of shame and silence. Inhale slowly, deliberately, as though you are drawing the very mercy of God through your nostrils and into every cell that has forgotten how to rest. Hold it for just a moment. Feel the gentle pressure against ribs that have carried armor far too long. And now exhale, longer than the inhale, letting the breath leave like a long-held confession you no longer have to speak aloud because heaven already heard it the first time your heart broke in secret. Every exhale is releasing something older than memory. It is releasing the lie that you ruined everything, that one choice outside the lines of perfect obedience disqualified you forever from joy. It is releasing the lie that your child was ever anything less than cherished by the one whose imagination first dreamed them into being. With every slow release of breath you are letting go of the need to hide, the need to justify, the need to punish yourself for being human in a moment when grace was already standing in the room waiting for you to notice. And every inhale, every single one, is an invitation. It is the Spirit of God breathing into you the truth you were always meant to carry instead. You are loved with a love that predates your mistake, a love that looked ahead to this very season of sorrow and called it good because redemption was already written into the story. You are forgiven before you finish the sentence of repentance. You are being made new, not in spite of what happened, but straight through the middle of it, like a river that carves canyons and calls them beautiful. Your secret baby has never been secret to God. Not for one fraction of 1 second. From the instant those two cells became one, eternity leaned in close and whispered a name over them that only heaven knows in full. That little life was never an accident, never a problem to be solved, never a scandal to be managed. They were a promise being kept in the dark until the time was right for light. They were a seed planted in the hidden soil of your womb and then transplanted into the garden of God's own heart, tended by hands that have never stopped rocking them gently through every single night you spent wondering if they were okay. They have been sung over. Can you imagine that? While you cried yourself to sleep counting regrets like sheep, the morning stars were singing lullabies in languages older than time. While you stared at ultrasound pictures you could never show anyone, angels were tracing those same tiny fingers and toes with wonder. While you carried the weight alone, they were carried in arms that never grow tired, never second-guess, never wish things had happened differently. Their life is not a footnote in your story. It is a cornerstone. The entire temple of your redemption is being built around the truth that God wastes nothing. Not tears, not timing, not even the most excruciating detours. That child is the stone the builders once rejected that has become the head of the corner in the sanctuary God is raising from the ashes of what you thought was only loss. Every brick of shame you tried to use to wall yourself off has been pulverized into the mortar of mercy that holds this new structure together. And now, beloved, the scaffolding is coming down. The flimsy framework of fear and control and pretending is being dismantled piece by piece. The curtains you pulled tight across the windows of your heart are being drawn back by hands much steadier than yours. Light is flooding in, not the harsh fluorescent glare of exposure that you feared, but the golden, honey-colored light of early morning on the day everything changes. It touches everything gently, the way dawn touches even the broken things and makes them beautiful again. You do not have to force this revealing. You do not have to schedule the exact day or orchestrate the perfect words or brace yourself for rejection that may never come. You only have to soften. Like clay in the potter's hands, like wax near the flame, like a fist finally opening after years of clutching shards that only cut deeper the tighter you held on. Soften. Let the shoulders drop another inch. Let the jaw unclench. Let the stomach that has been tied in knots for decades begin to remember what it feels like to be at rest. Stay willing. That is all that has ever been asked of you, simple, moment-by-moment willingness. Willingness to believe that the same God who spoke galaxies into being can speak your child's name in the ears of the ones who need to hear it. Willingness to trust that love is weaving something behind the scenes that your eyes cannot yet see but your spirit already recognizes. Willingness to keep choosing hope even when it feels like lighting a match in a storm. The angels assigned to you have not taken a single day off. They have walked so close that their wings have brushed against your skin more times than you know, leaving traces of peace you mistook for random comfort. They have stood guard around your bed when nightmares came. They have carried your unspoken prayers like incense before the throne when words failed you completely. They know the real name heaven has always called you, the one that existed before shame ever tried to rename you. They are whispering it now, over and over, until it drowns out every other voice that ever called you ruined. They are fanning that tiny flame of hope you have guarded with your life. You thought you were the only one keeping it alive, cupping your hands around it against every wind of doubt and despair. But hands much larger have been cupped around yours the entire time. The flame is brighter than you realize. It has become a torch. Soon it will be a bonfire. Soon it will light the path for the very one you have been waiting for. Soon you will look back on this stretch of years and realize every inch of it was holy ground. You will see that the desert was a sanctuary in disguise, that the silence was full of song you simply could not hear yet, that the loneliness was actually the most intimate companionship heaven could give you while preparing you for what is coming. You were never walking alone. When you saw only one set of footprints, it was not because you had been abandoned. It was because you were being carried by someone whose stride is longer than sorrow and whose strength never falters. You are arriving now. Not someday. Not when everything feels safe and tidy and resolved. Now. Into the healing you thought would only come after you had suffered enough to earn it. Into the clarity that comes not from having every question answered but from finally trusting the one who holds every answer. Into the truth that sets you free not because circumstances have shifted yet, but because you have stopped arguing with grace. Restoration is not a future event. It is a person, and he has been walking toward you every single day of separation. The table is already being set in the presence of every enemy that ever told you this story could never end in embrace. Shame is watching, mouth hanging open. Fear is being seated at the far end where it belongs, powerless to touch the feast. Regret is being asked to pass the bread it once tried to withhold. Every lie is about to be silenced by the ordinary, extraordinary sounds of homecoming. Chairs being pulled out with joy, plates being set with care, glasses filled to overflowing with wine made from the very grapes that grew in the vineyard of your pressing. You will sit across from the one your soul has never stopped loving, and time will fold in on itself until the years of distance feel like nothing more than the pause between thunder and rain. You will look into eyes that hold no condemnation, only recognition. You will hear a voice say your real name. The one heaven has always used, and every cell in your body will remember that it belongs to love. Hands that once waved goodbye will reach across the table and never let go again. And you will realize that every tear you cried in secret has been stored in a bottle, every sigh recorded in a book, every midnight prayer answered in ways more beautiful than you dared to ask. Take another deep breath, beloved. Deeper this time. Let it reach all the way down to the place where you have stored the ultrasound pictures and the hospital bracelets and the unsaid apologies. Let the breath of God fill those caverns until there is no room left for anything but love. Now exhale slowly. Let the last of the old air leave, carrying with it the final traces of fear that this could still go wrong. There is no wrong left that grace cannot make right. There is no separation love cannot cross. There is no night that can outlast the dawn now breaking inside you. Feel your heart expand. It has to. Something much larger than you have ever known is moving in to stay. The child-shaped space you have carried like a wound is becoming a doorway. The ache that never quite went away is making room for arms that will fit perfectly inside it. It is safe to hope again. Hope is not reckless. Hope is the most reasonable response to a God who has never once broken a promise. It is safe to open. Your heart was never meant to stay clenched forever. It was only waiting for the right hands to unfold it gently. It is safe to believe. Faith is not denial of reality. It is the deepest yes to a reality larger than what your eyes have seen so far. Your child is coming home. Not as a possibility. Not as a maybe. As a certainty wrapped in mercy and timed by love. The road has been under construction for years, every pothole filled, every detour rerouted, every mile marker placed by hands that knew exactly where this journey was headed long before you did. And home has been living inside you all along. You carried it in your body once, and now you carry it in your spirit. The door is swinging wide, not because you finally pried it open with effort, but because love has turned the key from the inside. It is time. The inhale is complete. The greatest embrace of your life is beginning. Welcome home, beloved. Welcome home.